Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp. Happy New Year to you all, and I hope you all had a lovely time over the holiday period too. Now in today's video we're going to have a look at some of the games that released whilst we were making other videos over the Christmas period. Generally we do a video which shows the upcoming games for the week at hand, and we put that to the side whilst we did our 12 Days of SwitchUp series. That will return on Saturday, looking at the week coming up of course, but in the meantime I thought it would be interesting to do a video and see any of the games that crept out in the meantime, just in case an interesting one gets missed. So these games would have released anywhere between about the 15th of December up until current day basically. So which games have come out in that time period for the Switch? Well, let's find out. Let's begin with a game that released on the 15th of December, and that's Aka. This is a small open world game according to the blurb, and it's one of those which would nowadays be described as a cozy game. As far as I can see, it centres around rebuilding after a war and includes staples of the genre in gardening, construction and quests to move the narrative forward. There are a number of islands to visit, all inspired by real world places and characters to meet along the way. This one will cost you £11.49 or your regional equivalent. River City Girls 2, the sequel to 2019's beat-em-up River City Girls, which itself was a spin-off of the classic Kunio-kun series, also released over the Christmas period. This new game has 6 playable characters to choose from, and the city itself has been expanded with new locations, routes and secret areas to find. I've been playing a bit of this one over the Christmas break and may well do a full review on it yet. I'm enjoying it on the whole, although I do think this particular version, in terms of how non-linear it is, maybe has gone a bit too far in that direction, which does slow the pacing down a bit too much at times. One other thing I will mention here though is that I saw a lot of reviews mentioning the performance being a big issue. Now I'm playing version 1.0.1, so obviously there's been a patch since those reviews went out, and I haven't had any major performance issues at all, even when playing in multiplayer, so it looks as if the patch has alleviated that problem. This one will cost £34.99, and as I said, there may well be a review of this one out on the channel next week.
Over the top humor. Take control of one of 6 characters, including returning powerhouses Kyoko and Misako. Each character has their own fighting style and upgradable movesets, which you'll need as you set off on a new quest.
On the 19th of December, Floppy Knights released, which is a fusion of turn-based tactics and card battling. The art style comes from the same artist behind Dicey Dungeons, and this version includes all of the DLC side quests, which adds to 24 new levels and over 50 new cards. There are challenge levels and side quests to complete, and assist options for those struggling with the difficulty. This one costs £17.99, but it does currently have 20% off of that price up until the 8th of January. Also out now is Mortal Shell Complete Edition, which is a third-person ARPG that released elsewhere in 2020 in its original form. This Complete Edition includes all content updates and DLC, and includes the Virtuous Cycle expansion, a 5th playable character, and the Rotten Autumn content update, which adds unique shell shades, a new mini-quest, a photo mode, and an alternative boss fight soundtrack. This may be another one that we have a review for on the channel soon. If it's already out, there'll be a card in the top right hand corner. If not, then do keep an eye out for it please, and you can pick this one up for £24.99 or your regional equivalent. Then you have The Captain, which released on the 20th of December and sees you playing as Captain Thomas Wellmu, lost on the other side of the galaxy, and happens to be carrying the only thing that can stop dark forces from destroying the Earth. You must plot a course home before it's too late, making friends and dealing with enemies as you go. You will constantly be making decisions that affect your journey. Should you attack enemies or opt to sneak past? Will you have your ship repaired professionally or just patch it up yourself? Will you sacrifice a friend for the greater good? It's all up to you. After all, you are of course the captain. Sounds quite interesting to be fair, and costs £17.99 if you do want to pick this one up. Next is a game called Kaiju Wars, which I immediately included pretty much off the strength of it having the word kaiju in the title. You'll need to defend your city from 5 different kaiju in tactical battles. There are dialogue options to choose between which will affect the story, and you may need to sacrifice buildings and units to stop the monsters. They cannot be killed, they can only be slowed down. It boasts a campaign mode which is approximately 15 hours long, and it reminds me a little of one of the Godzilla games that was on the NES with that hex based gameplay. It costs £17.99 and this one also released back on the 20th.
The kaiju are powerful, but predictable.
The next release is Hyper Gunsport, which released on the 22nd of December, and this describes itself as cyberpunk volleyball with guns. You can play in either 2v2 or 1v1 modes with both co-op or single player available. There are 7 teams, each with their own unique weapons, and a stage with a particular gimmick for each team, and as you progress, new rules are introduced to change up the gameplay. It's playable with up to 4 players, but it does include a full campaign mode for solo players too, as I mentioned. I do tend to enjoy these sort of futuristic sports games, going all the way back to games such as Speedball and its sequel from the Bitmap brothers of course, or one I used to play on the Commodore 64 which I think was called Cyberball. Anyway, this one will cost you £22.99 if you are interested. Following on from that is WRC Generations, which has been out elsewhere for a while, and it released on the Switch on the 23rd of December. The blurb states that new mechanics have been added to the game to represent the demands of the new hybrid engines being used, as you'll have to carefully manage your battery by adapting your engine mapping throughout the special stages you take part in. There are 750 kilometers of special stages in 22 countries, 49 teams from the 2022 season, 37 legendary cars and 165 timed special stages. There is also a leagues mode where you can challenge other players, in-game creation and management, and refinements to the vehicle physics. It costs £44.99 or your regional equivalent. The penultimate game, which released about a week ago now, is Sports Story. This sequel to the much loved golf story was a recent stealth drop and had been very highly anticipated by some, with a number of sporting events being wrapped up in a story with RPG elements. There are multiple golf courses, there's tennis, fishing, cricket, volleyball and more, as well as secrets to find in the abandoned ruins and the mysterious wildlands, so says the blurb. Unfortunately, it hasn't released in a very good state. We do have a video here which looks at the issues in more detail if you do want the full story. And finally, releasing just a couple of days ago on the 31st of December was Toy Soldiers HD. This action game mixes elements of tower defense with parts where you directly control and defend your territory as you look to keep your toy box safe from waves of enemy attackers. World War I units are brought to life in toy form, and as mentioned, as well as strategically placing a number of units, you'll also have the chance to control machine guns, tanks, or take to the skies and rain down fire from above. I remember playing this game back on the Xbox 360 and really enjoying it actually, although I must confess I thought it was already out on the Switch. I'm assuming it got delayed at some point, and this HD version includes the original game and all DLC. It's definitely on the expensive side at £26.99, but it is a fun take on the strategy genre and worth a look if you are a fan of such games. So there you have it, there are 10 games that released over the Christmas period, 10 games that we didn't cover owing to our 12 Days of SwitchUp series. If you haven't given that a watch, please do. I know it's obviously Christmas based, but it is a nice collection, or we think so at least, of lists with some game ideas, games that you may not have heard of, especially if you've just got yourself a Switch for Christmas. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick up any of these games or any others for that matter, you can do so via our website switchup.gg. There is a link in the description and a top-pinned comment. There's also a link down there to Play Asia where you can get yourself 5% off of an order if you are looking to import any games. A quick thank you to our patrons as always and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Happy New Year of course, and as always, happy gaming.